Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where Khadij does what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. Ladies and gentlemen, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Please hit the thumbs up on this video and welcome back. Welcome back to another segment of my Dear Deejas. And let's get into this Dear Deeja letter because we are not playing for the motherfucking fall. Right. Dear Deja, we have a 20-year-old son who suffered a tremendous loss. I can't lie and say I was oblivious. My son is in a gang. I never said those words aloud to anyone. While he's never admitted this to me, we both know the neighborhood we live in is gang infested and his dad has been locked up since he was 4 years old, so the direction he took doesn't shock me. I know most, if not all, of his friends, and I'm almost sure they're all in the same gang. Anyway, the one he was closest with used to be my next door neighbor. He and my son have been friends since they was 2 years old. The young man has older parents who are from Africa, and because of their disconnect from the American ghetto culture, their son damn near lived in my house. To sum it all up, last year when him and my son were coming from picking up their passports as they planned to travel for my son's birthday, they ran into a few of their ops and a fight ensued. During the fight, one of the ops pulled out a knife and stabbed my son in the thigh and shoulder. His friend was stabbed in the stomach and chest. Unfortunately, my son's friend didn't make it. Oh my God. My son is heartbroken, which is understandable, but I think during my son's time of grief, he has adopted the habit of taking pills. Again, I haven't physically seen him do it, but I hear things like he's a yurt demon and, of course, the change in behaviors and physical appearance. Deja, last week a woman showed me a video of my son in the street on the ground and he seemed to be having a seizure. I've never seen my son that far gone, and while I know he's grieving for his friend, this can't be the way he copes or the way he dies. I can't lose my son, Deja, so let me know what you think I should do or say before it's too late. Thank you in advance. Signed, if my son takes this route, he will crash out. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, the blood of Jesus. First off, I want to ask this, Mama Love, right? I want to ask this. First of all, let me say, I'm very grateful that you're one of the parents that you understand, you're in the know, and you can see what's going on, because a lot of times it is hard for parents to actually believe the circumstances that their young person is in. And I'm not gonna lie, I am an aunt of 5 nephews, and I also can sometimes be oblivious or get blindsided by some of the things that they might claim my nephews have done. So I can imagine as a mom how that could happen. I'm practically begging God not to give me a son because I know he would be able to run circles around me, right? So while I get that, right, I love the fact that, like you said in your letter, Khadijah, I'm not oblivious. I'm aware, right? And even though I haven't seen it physically, I am aware, right? And I have a saying by my girl, Miss Shirley. She would always say to be forewarned is to be forearmed, meaning that if I'm aware, then there's something that I could do, right? First off, I want to ask, because you did say that during the altercation where your son lost his friend, he was also injured. So I wonder if he was given some medication in order to help him heal, and that's how he got addicted. I don't know. Again, I've never been physically harmed in that way, at least not enough to be hospitalized and need medication. I also don't know what medication is given when you're in certain situations. I don't know how much is given, and I don't know what is addictive, right? What I do know is I come from a family of addicts. So I'm no stranger to addiction. And, I want to, number one, first and foremost, say that I'm keeping your son's addiction in prayer. If this is his reality, I truly, truly hope and pray that God would change his heart. God would give him the strength, because I have lost an abundance of folks to addiction, to drug addiction. So it's so scary, and I definitely could understand how, as a parent, you're afraid, right? Number one on the list, I think we need to talk about transparency between children and adults, and more so transparency between children and parents. I do work with young people, I also work with the families of young people. And I see one or two things happen. I see either one, there is transparency between a child and their parents because they're all on the same page, or there's no transparency between a child and a parent because they're both in two totally separate worlds, right? What my biggest fear is for myself is I never want to have my kid be a stranger, if that makes sense, right? Of course, I'm not everywhere with this young person, so I can't honestly say that every single moment of the day I'm aware of what you would do, but it would hurt my heart for somebody to show me or tell me things about a person that I gave birth to that I would never have thought or recognized. You know, so once again, I love the fact that you know your young person. Now I want you guys to have some transparent moments, which is, sweetheart, we need to talk, right? I do hear you with the environment you guys live in, you know, his father's condition, but to be honest, that doesn't have to be his reality if you don't let it. That does not have to be his reality if you don't let it. Right? There is ways that you can check in and step in and say, listen, how you doing? Not mine. Not mine. But in order for you to be able to do so, there has to be some real talk about what is going on. And then you have to now assess your value system. I think sometimes we live in an era where parents, you know, they value being friends with their young people, or their young people thinking that they're cool, right? Let me say this. I may feel differently when I give birth, but I'll say it now. I do want to be friends with my young person. I do. I want us to have a transparent dialogue, and I want to have that relationship where we laugh and we joke and we kick it. But I don't want my young person to mistake what my value system is, right? Where my morals lie. And I think that sometimes that's what presents the issue, is that if you are a parent who you are friendly with your young person, that's your homegirl, that's your homeboy, that's your broke bestie, y'all ride and y'all roll together, I think that they may feel like their moral compass is your moral compass, right? So if your young person is saying, yo, if a B or nigga get out of line with me, then I'm upping it on them. If they think that you think that's cool, then that's what's taking place. And that's what makes us besties. Because I know if I up it on so and so, my mother and my father gonna have my back because they were up it on so and so as well. Right? Whereas with me, like I said, I want to be friends with my young person and I want to have that relationship, but I want them to know where my moral compass lies because I want to be able to instill some things in you as well. So case in point, right? If I'm hanging around a younger person, right, and I see them get riled up in a situation, right? Oh, Deja, so-and-so disrespect me, yada, 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 yada. I don't ever want that young person to feel as an adult I'm going to condone them being physical with that person because they feel disrespected. I want them to feel, which most of my young people do feel around me and my friends, they'll be like, do not tell Deidre because she is going to advocate for you to go totally against. I am. Because as the elder in the situation, why would I put you in harm's way? Why would I put you in a situation that could jeopardize your safety? Not only that, if I do put you in a situation that jeopardizes your safety, you now anticipate me to come in and save you, which jeopardizes mine as well. So we should both be unsafe? Is that what I'm promoting? So I think for your young person, there needs to be moments of transparency, but you need to also honor your value system. So like case in point, if you are totally against drugs and the intake of such, when you have the conversation with your young person about being on them, you know, because you can't physically stop them, you also need to make it clear that you disapprove of them though. Right? And Of course, you have to be able to convey that in a way that doesn't make your young person want to shy away from telling you things. But at the same token, they have to understand that, I have to be clear with you on what this means for me and you as my child. So you need to have the conversation. Whatever your reasons is for being against drugs, whatever your reasons is for not wanting your son to crash out, lay them out for him. Lay them out for him. Don't say, oh, I don't want you to do drugs because they're bad. Young people looking at you like, shut the fuck up because you arguing about weed, bitch. Didn't you smoke crack? Like, young people don't hear us, right? So if you are arguing or debating with a young person about a substance, let them know why though. Not just because it's bad for you. No, give the actual circumstance or the actual reason so they can connect why you're saying what you're saying. And whether they agree or disagree, at least they'll have an understanding about how you feel. Let me give an example, right? Like I said, I work with young people. So a couple of years back, I had a student. P to them. Shout out to P to them. I'm going to call me one time. Yo, Khadijah. Shu say, I'm outside of school and I'm actually early today. Why the school building not open? Is no school today? I said, Peter, I can tell you something. What happened, Khadijah? It's Saturday, motherfucker. Go home. Like, Peter was a trip, right? But Peter was one of my favorite graduates from the old school that I worked in, right? Anyway, Peter told me quite a few things when he walked in the door at the job that I was at. And one of the things he told me was that I ain't going to stop, indulging in the trees, right? So I said, well, listen, I don't indulge in trees, but I don't knock folks that do. What I said to Peter was that, listen to me, Peter, you came here for a goal, right? You came here for a goal. This is where you are. This is where the goal is, right? The only thing that matters is, just like they say in that poem, The Dash, only thing that matters is the space in between you getting from A to B, right? You telling me to get from A to B, you absolutely need to have the trees. Peter, I don't disagree with that. I don't know what you mean. I ain't your mammy, so maybe you're right. My only concern, Peter, is that I don't want you to let anything distract you from getting the B that involves the trees, right? So he said, oh, no. Khadijah, true say, nothing gonna stop me. I'm good, right? Okay, no problem, right? So, number one, he was leaving early to go do that, which now shortens his graduation time. That stops you from getting the B. Another thing is sometimes he indulged in the tree session before school. You come into the building and now you're looking for munchies when you're supposed to be in class. So now it's taking you 20 minutes to find the munchies, 10 minutes to eat the munchies. Then you got to go use the restroom because after you ate, it made you use the bathroom. So now that's 35 minutes out of a 45-minute class. How are you going to earn a credit in that class when 90% of the time you weren't there? And you're going to tell me that I don't have nothing to do with the trees. So you see how I made that correlation? So I think for your young person, you have to be able to make the correlation that I'm not just telling you don't do these things, but I need to explain to you why I'm sharing that, because I'm afraid that X, Y, and Z will happen, right? I also think that you should involve a medical professional. I think you should involve a medical professional because I don't know, once again, if doing and being in that state has anything to do with his injury. So he might be, feeling that way because it helps him cope with pain physically as well. So I think you need to involve a medical professional so they can give you some insight about trying to wean your young person off of whatever you feel he's on, and helping him find something else that will help him cope with the physical pain. And I also think that you need to involve medical professionals because there is an emotional, and a mental health issue that's taking place that he needs help with. Your son could very well be depressed. You said in your letter that your son and that young man have been friends since they was 2 years old. So once again, we all know we have to go, but do you think he wanted his friend to go, so soon in that manner? Also, he was present. Also, it could be survivor's remorse. He could be also feeling like we both got injured. Why did I survive? Why was I there present for that? Did I help? Could I have helped? Did I do everything I should? He could be feeling an influx of emotions that don't just mean, oh, thank God I survived and I'm here and everything's great. That's probably not how he's feeling. You know how many people have survivors? Sorry, y'all, I'm looking at my mic. You know how many people have survivor's remorse? You know how many people have been through situations and came out quote unquote unscathed, but so many things happened in that situation that they wish that they were dead? God forbid that could be what your son is wishing. And to watch somebody and to see a video that somebody would show you of your son looking like he's so intoxicated that he's having what you would assume is a seizure, it's definitely the end-all be-all of involving a medical professional. You know, you want to save your son by any means necessary. I tell this to everybody. You want to save your children by any means necessary. So you need to go to him and say, listen, I love you. I care about you. And in these moments, I am afraid for you. And because of that, I want to get you what you need as your mother, because I refuse to live in fear about my son's health and about his life. So what are we going to do? And I think that in those moments you would experience an emotional overload from your baby, because he probably does want the help. He probably does want to be saved, but he does not even know where to start because he's so boggled down with his feelings and emotions surrounding what took place. So my only suggestion, Mama Love, would be go to your baby. Go to your baby. Go to your baby directly and be transparent in your conversation. Before we ask about what you want and how you got, doesn't even matter. I want you to know I love you. I see a shift in you. I'm afraid for you and I want to save you. So tell me what you need. And I'm going to tell you something. It makes me want to cry even thinking about it. When you are, oh God, I want to cry, no dear DJ. I'm not crying, F that. But, you know, I always feel an emotional overload for people who have lost their mom, right? And not because I want to, right? I don't want to feel sorry for anybody, but in my experience, and I honestly can't say if I know for sure that people's dad can do it for them too, because me and my dad didn't totally get there, so I didn't have that experience, but I've had it with my mom, right? And something in me, my soul just shifts when I know that people have lost their mom, because I'm not going to cry on this, dear DJ, but your mom is your landing space. Your mom is your comfort zone. Your mom is where you go when you can't go anywhere else. Your mom is where you strip away your ego, your fear, and anything else prohibiting you from being vulnerable and raw and emotional. You can have those moments with your mother, right? And granted, some folks have them with other mother figures, right? So you have people who have them with grandmothers or aunts or whoever represents that woman in your life, right? But why I use mom, because it's my own mom, is because those people are the people that unwavering and unconditionally and no matter fucking what, they are going to nurture you, have your back, support you, and tell you, on top of making sure that everything is okay. Right? So I think in those moments when you go to your son and you express your care and your concern and your fear surrounding what could become of the condition and the state that he's in, I think he's going to have an emotional overload and break down right there. Because mom, I've been wanting to share this shit. I just had nobody to tell it to. I had nobody who would understand that this shit broke me in ways that I can't imagine. And sometimes that's hard to tell your peers and to tell your siblings and to tell your cousins. You know, there's ego involved, especially with men. So for him, I think he will welcome that vulnerable space. And in those moments would be the opportunity for you to present the help he needs to save your fucking son. Okay? To save your son. Once you see that he's given that vulnerability and he's open in those moments is when you tell yourself, I'm going to get every medical professional on board. And I'm going to jump in feet and head first because I got to save my baby. I got to save my baby. Not only do I have to save him because I'm a mother, right now, my baby is telling me he needs me to save him. So, Mama Love, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. This Dear Deidre, no Dear Deidre, if I'm thinking about it, no Dear Deidre ever made me emotional. I didn't actually let the tears fall, so I'm proud of myself. But no Dear Deidre in the past has made me this emotional. But with school starting tomorrow and knowing how much of an impact I try to have on young people, and I try to tell them, like, listen, you know, like, life is real, you know, and I know what you're seeing on the internet and on TV, so you start to believe, life is real, and you have to start living it in real time, and you have to start living it realistically, because all these other facades that you see motherfuckers put up, this ain't that. This ain't that. You could even share with your young person, any other person, forget about young or old, any other person that is on any other substance is at risk of dropping dead today or tomorrow. And I do not only mean pills, I mean alcohol, I mean cocaine, I mean anybody else that's on any substance. You are running the risk of shortening your life by years. And like you say, your son is a young boy. I don't want your life cut short because you couldn't cope with and manage your feelings and emotions, so you had to turn to something that ultimately unalived you. That's not what you want for your baby, and I truly believe in my heart that's not what he wants for himself. So now is the time to get in the paint and fight. Fight with your baby. Fight. Fight. Present that moment of transparency. And then go through everything with him every step of the way. Hold his hand, have his back, console him. And I promise you, if you stick with him and he have that support and he do his part, you guys will make it out on the other side. Oh, God, you better come through with a word. Woo! No other Dear Deidre has made me emotional. No other Dear Deidre has made me emotional. I thank you for this letter. It really, 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 really super duper touched me. There's work to be done. There's work to be done, not just with your baby, but all over the world. And I'm so happy you wrote this Dear Deidre letter, because I hope and pray that it spreads so people can be aware of what we're up against. You know, people are finding ways and things to cope that are so unhealthy for them that eventually is unaliving them. We need to find better ways. But in order for you to do so, you need your support system to tap in. You need the love. You need the care. You need the judgment-free zone. And all of that takes a lot to give. You know, for folks who already have their own lives, who have things going on. But that's why you're Mama Love. Because that's what I said in my letter. Your mother is your landing space. She's there when nobody's there. You got this. You got this. You, the medical professionals, and your son, you got this. And any way that Healing Hearts can be a resource or of any assistance, my dear, please do not hesitate to forget writing a letter. Email me, text me, call me. I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done. In any event, my dear, I want to fight you because this is the first Dear Deidre that got me emotional. I don't appreciate that. But sometimes some things, you know, have to happen in order for folks to see how passionate you are. Ladies and gentlemen, please hit the thumbs up on this video. This was a real one. This was a real one, and I appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up on this video. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love, love, love you guys, and more to come. More to come. And in the event, enjoy your day. And again, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. I love y'all.